advanced industries, world-leading digital capabilities, and K-culture that captures global attention. Today, the Republic of Korea is a top 10 global economy and a major aid donor nation, providing development assistance in education, healthcare, infrastructure, and digital governance around the world. But its starting point was entirely different. Just a few decades ago, Korea was one of the world's poorest aid-receiving nations. A nation that moved from receiving aid to giving aid. Korea is the only country in the world to achieve this remarkable transition. How was such a transformation possible? In 1953, after the Korean War, most state functions had collapsed. Factories, roads, schools, hospitals, the very backbone of the nation, had been destroyed. The United Nations created United Nations Korean Reconstruction Agency to rebuild Korea's schools, hospitals, housing, and infrastructure. From the 1950s to the 1980s, aid from the US, the United Nations, and the World Bank played a crucial role in helping Korea rise again. But Korea did not see aid as permanent dependency. It treated aid as a starting point for growth. Korea adopted a clear and practical strategy: export-driven industrialization. From light industry to heavy and chemical industries, and eventually to semiconductors and batteries, Korea advanced its industrial structure at unprecedented speed. The World Bank and the international community have highlighted this as a representative example of the Korean development model. With few natural resources, Korea invested in its people. It expanded basic education and trained technical workers nationwide. This strong emphasis on education became the engine of Korea's growth. Policies and education alone cannot explain the transformation. Korean society carried a cultural energy. Let's work a bit faster, a bit harder, and build a better life together. Strategy, people, and culture did not work separately. They reinforced one another, shaping the Korean development model. By the late 1990s, Korea was no longer an aid recipient. As repayments exceeded incoming aid, Korea officially graduated from the list of recipient countries in 1999. In 2009, Korea joined the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, Development Assistance Committee, becoming the world's only country to transition from an aid recipient to a donor nation. This shift was not just economic growth. It was Korea redefining its role in the global community. A defining feature of Korea's development assistance is that it supports countries that resemble Korea's own past. Korea does not observe developing nations from a distance. It understands them as a country that lived through similar challenges. This is why Korea's aid programs focus not just on funding, but on strengthening people, institutions, and capabilities. Korea remembers that sustainable development is complete only when a nation can stand on its own. This was exactly what Korea once needed most: the ability to become self-reliant. A nation once defined by war and poverty has become a nation that helps others. This change means far more than numbers. For many countries, Korea represents a possibility that they too can succeed. So we ask, why Korea? How did Korea become a donor nation? Because Korea transformed aid from a cycle of dependency into a cycle of growth and sharing. A nation that shares its past and builds the future together. This is our answer to why Korea.